Hi everyone, this is Darren with SimNation. Today's video is going to be about coach leagues and how to try to be successful in them. We have one of these at GMPFL, which is our Draft Day Sports College Football 2025 Coaches League. Coach League is generally a league where you can't create custom playbooks. In truly hardcore fashion, it's kind of hard to enforce because I don't think Wolverine has put the settings in place to allow you to do it. And true thing, you'd act as the general manager. So you'd sign players, you'd sign coaches, and then they would be the ones that would go off and coach the games and make personnel decision. In GMPFL, really what we enforce is you just can't use custom playbooks. There are some coaches who go to the nth degree, which is I will act as the general manager, I will sign players, and I will choose the players we draft. I'll choose the players that we bring in through free agency, but the coaches themselves will set the um, roster and then deal with the gameplay decisions and so on. So regardless of how you want to do it, in order to be successful in these leagues, because you can't create a custom playbook, you really need to understand how player skill matches the plays that you're calling. At Pittsburgh up, I don't coach in this league, mostly because I don't know how good I would be at it, but two, I don't have enough time for one more league to coach in with me commissioning multiple leagues. And that would pull me away from this video channel too. So one thing I'll tell you is it all starts with who you select as coaches. Now I'm choosing Pittsburgh, which is a CPU team, but they have a head coach who, as you can see, is a spread offense, three wide receiver, 3-3-5 defense. He's not a really good coach except for on defense. So you may not want to really use his plays. Roderick Morris is a little bit better coach. He runs a pass-heavy West Coast hybrid offense. So the key about the West Coast is really a short to medium passing offense. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're thinking about the players to fit this, right? So whoever you select as your coach, you need to get the right players to match those folks. So just keep that in the back of your mind for now. Ezekiel Shelton is a 3-4 hybrid. So what that is going to mean is that he likes doing a lot of things around the linebacker. He's going to mix up his coverage. So that means he's going to use zone, man, a combination of both. And he wants to have linebackers who can play both in the pass game and the run game. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that means as well. So as you go in and you look at the plays, and as you can see, I don't know that I would let George Milner call the calls. I would actually say you should be letting Roderick do it. I'm not going to save this because I don't know who they're playing next, and candidly, if I switch this, it'll probably hurt somebody, which I'm not going to do. Uh, but Roderick is probably the guy you should be using. George Milner's defense, I don't think matters more, but I wouldn't use it. I would use Ezekiel's. I think it's Ezekiel. Yeah. Um, so generally on 1st and 10, one of the things you always want to consider is either using this is the balance, this is the pass, this is the run. So depending on who you're playing, you can see what they do well. So they're playing the Ravens. I'm not going to lead this, but it looks like they like to throw the ball. So I can see that if I go to the Ravens and look at the last few games. But I'm not going to get that in depth. So let's just say we're going to go with Ezekiel. We'll use the balanced. We'll go with his run for short. Probably go a little bit balanced on first, go pass on second, again go run, and then go medium and go pass. This is just a pattern that I use against the CPU a lot. So generally on third, I'm going to switch to pass because I'm more likely going to throw the ball. Fourth down, again, go run, going pass because they're going to throw the ball. I've talked about this in other videos. I always ignore these because generally, if what I'm doing is working on regular downs, I don't want to change it. Now, this next piece is the piece that is important. So if you're hardcore, don't disregard this, right? Because you're going to either choose George Milner or Roderick. Ezekiel, and that's how you're going to roll, right? Because that's the setting. Because you're hardcore, you're not going to change any of these. If you're not hardcore, though, what you'll want to do is you want to go into the playbook. Let's just say we're using Roderick's. You want to see the plays that are working the best. So slant is a short vertical, so depth is short, which is all makes sense. Short to medium, balanced. And what you're looking for is these things here. And you want to jot these down and see medium over the middle, blocking, catching. These two I don't think really matter, but the scheme, the depth, and the distribution matter. Actually, scheme may matter less, but the depth matters a little bit more. So what you see is balanced run type. You've seen that this isn't really working outside. And what you're going to go back to here is you're going to say, let's just say I want to pass the ball, right? I'm going to go pass. Tempo, again, tempo is just how fast are you going to run plays. I always do normal or slow because I like to slow the game out. I know people do fast. But Pittsburgh probably isn't doing well because they have, we're going to go short, or we could go medium. It doesn't matter, one of these two. Or I can set none, which I may do because then it forces us to use his passing preference and opens it. Medium over the middle was the best one, so I would say medium over the middle. These, again, you base this on how you view it. Who's your best wide receiver? Who's the best person to have on third down, which is normally someone who can catch the ball, block, and run the ball. And then goal line back is, of course, someone who can run the ball. Running focus, what we saw earlier was balanced, was working best. I always set these to none. None are mixed. But again, mixed ties back to the play over hill. So what you want to do is match as much as you can to the plays that are most successful in your playbook. If your overall playbook is really good, what I would say is be okay with choosing none, because none will allow the offensive coordinator to have full control of the playbook. You're not telling him what plays to play. But if he's struggling and you want him to only run certain set of plays that are successful, that's where you start to layer it in here. And again, as we go back and look, let's choose the most successful one, right? This is shotgun wide receiver curl. It's type pass, so I want to make sure I set the pass to type. Short is my depth, outside distribution. These other two don't matter. You can set those to none. And then you just will keep looking at that to see, is there something medium over the middle is another successful one. And you can set it that way. And now what's going to happen is the offensive coordinator is going to choose mostly the passing preference and passing target. You do the same thing for defense, right? So if we go in and look at Ezekiel Shelton's defenses, what you want to do is choose the ones that actually are being successful. So you see run mixed mixed, you'll see run mixed mixed, balance mixed mixed. So what that would tell me is what I probably want to do here is focus is none, but leave these on mixed. And then I should get the same thing. Now, the key also is making sure your depth chart actually reflects the type of offense you're running. So if I'm going to go short or medium, I want to really focus more on accuracy than arm. Now, in GMPFL, we have fog of war turned on. So 10 doesn't mean 100, it could mean 90. A 9 could mean 80, and 8 could mean 70. But what I see here is Michael Goodman, I don't know why I said Michelle, is probably the right guy to run the offense, followed by Gibbons, which so they got that right. From a running back perspective, I don't know why they are too deep, but I'll leave that one alone for now. Neither of these two running backs are really good West Coast offense type running backs, but Avalos is the better of the two. From a fullback perspective, I'm also not sure why they would have, I don't know why I keep clicking that, but from a fullback perspective, they're doing the 7 strength. He has the better hands. Howard Shaw is better. But for like goal line, I would probably choose Avalos to be the goal line guy instead of Shaw. And then again, for wide receivers, speed is always important. Don't ever look past that. But for short passing, agility and hands matter too. So what you want to do is choose the best people who have agility and hands for the short, and then speed is constant, but I would say that like your top wide receiver is probably going to be this guy Jansen. I would make Jansen wide receiver number one. I would make probably Dudley. Actually, I'd make Dudley wide receiver number one. I'd make Jansen wide receiver number two, and then I would probably make just do it this way, make it easier for me. Um, I would go with the I'd make Easel actually wide receiver two, and then I would make Jansen wide receiver three. Wide receiver four does matter because they run back empty backfields. Um, so again, I would probably go with Dalton Hill. So we're pretty good there. And then again, in a short offense, in a rushing offense, you want to make sure that you are prizing the ability to um, prize agility a little bit higher, but also blocking matters. Since you're not doing power rushing, strength is not as important. So agility, intelligence, and the blocking skill is going to be your most important things still. But that hopefully makes sense. Is the key to winning in a coaches league is one, picking coaches that match the players you have, or picking players that match the coaches you have, and then really using game plan to hone in on what works play wise. If his whole playbook works, just be okay with setting this to none, um, because then you will allow the coach to have full freedom to call the plays. Like here, I would say this is Avalos. I would keep that Shaw, but running focus balance because I noticed that was better. I'm changing this to medium because most of the medium passes were good, but I'm going to choose none. The quarterback can do both. In this case, I noticed most of the things were mixed, but I don't care about focus, so I'll put none. That way I get balanced, I get passed, I get run as well. And this should allow Pittsburgh to win. I would love to test this, but I'm not going to do that because I can't remember if Baltimore's a human or not. But what I would say is if you want to be successful in a coaches league, you really have to understand the game plan page, and then make sure that your players match the type of plays that the coach is calling. So 3-4, you need to have linebackers who have speed, as well as have some agility in tackling. Your inner linebackers should be focused on the run. Your outer linebackers should be focused more on speed, depending on the plays. If he's calling a lot of plays where he's using the outside linebackers to contain the run, you'll want to have tackling on the outside. So just take a look at that. Hopefully this helps you a little bit. These are some just quick pointers. I don't want to make this a long video. If you want me to do more in depth, I will. Well, I'll just take over Pittsburgh for a few weeks and show you how I would do the planning, and we can go from there. Hope you have a good night. If you're interested in GMPFL, the links are in the video. It's a good league. We are on week 15, so we're approaching the end of the season, moving to the playoffs. I'll do a recap video sometime soon on this, but we do have some good coaches in this league, and it's a good community. So if you're interested, let me know. SNCFL and GMCFL both feed this league. So have a great night, and hopefully you find this valuable and helpful.